Churches across California, like many in America, are facing challenges with worship services. Many pastors believe that even with following all the social distancing rules, their religious liberties are still at stake. Our Mark Martin talked with conservative radio host Todd Starnes about their fight.
Todd, tell us about the legal battle in California over the lockdown and religious freedom.
It's a big problem, not just in California, but really across the nation. But last week, a federal judge ruled that the state of California does have the right to ban churches from meeting together in corporate worship. Several churches in California filed a lawsuit, and they said, hey, look, all we want to do is have the drive-in church services. Some of the churches actually wanted to have in-person meetings, and the federal judge says, no, you cannot do that. And the state has the authority under the emergency orders to dictate and to enforce those policies.
So where do things stand today?
Well, there's a lot of unrest right now and a lot of rumblings in the Christian community. I had the pastor of a very large, really a mega church just north of Los Angeles on my radio program, and he said it really is time to have that conversation. When can the churches get back to the business of holding church services? And the pastor brought up a very interesting issue. His name is Dr. Paul Chappell at Lancaster Baptist Church. He said the problem is, unlike many of the other industries out there, whether it be the restaurant industry or the retail industry, that churches don't have a lobbyist at the State House really petitioning and lobbying on their behalf. And he says it's very troubling that at this moment there are not conversations being had in the halls of government about when the churches can reopen their doors.
Let's talk big picture, Todd. Why is this fight so important for not only California, but the entire nation?
We are watching an unprecedented attack on our civil liberties. And I wrote about this in my book, Culture Jihad, that came out in October, that unless people of faith stand up and fight for liberty, then we are going to have a very big problem in this country. Now, keep in mind, the issue here is religious liberty. There are attacks on the Second Amendment. There are attacks on freedom of assembly. It goes on and on and on. But the issue is religious liberty. And I believe that religious liberty is our bedrock freedom. And if our government is able to crack religious liberty and weaken religious liberty, and by government, I mean these state governments, then I believe every one of our other freedoms is in jeopardy. And that's exactly what's happened here. It's not a surprise that one of the first things they did was shut down churches in just about every state across this nation.
All right, Todd Starnes, thanks so much for bringing us up to date on this important story.